All right, we're gonna head into this thing. We're gonna start doing all of our base plates, welding them into the chassis. We're also going to weld all the overhead bars and get that done, suck the cage back into where it should be, and you know, get it all tacked in and ready to go. So you'll see I have cardboard up in places while I'm doing the MIG welding and stuff to the chassis, so no sparks and slag and different stuff gets all over the place. I use an air hose frequently. I'll try to point that out as well. That's just to keep areas cool, keep flare-ups down, try to keep that seam sealer from actually igniting and really getting on fire. I try to do as many safeguards as possible to really keep everything to a minimum. These are all inherent risks of this stuff. Ask anyone that does this type of work, and they'll tell you it's very tough. Well, I'll be honest, I think I lost the video somewhere because I had the whole video of me welding it up and it's just gone. So, on to the rest of it. As you can see, I'm using these ratchet straps to not only pull it back, but try to maneuver it into position. Ratchet straps are a fabricator's best friend. I don't care what type of fabrication you do, they are just a fabricator's best friend. They help you get things to places where you just can't get them. We're getting these bottom main hoop plates all tacked in, ready to go, and then moving on to the front. So as you can see, I had a little bit of trouble with the front end. I just couldn't get it into position the way I wanted to, and I couldn't get the tubes back up to where they had to go. Just the overall design made it a little difficult. It was very tight. I ended up using an engine cradle, and it lifted it up exactly where I needed it to be so I could put the front base plates in, get them all tacked in, and get ready to weld this whole thing out. Actually ended up modifying and changing my front base plate a little bit. I was able to work it much tighter in a better place, and I just had to notch it out a little bit. That's why you see a little back and forth right here. I'm just doing the final fit, final notching on these base plates so they fit the chassis super tight, and to get ready to weld them up. So what you're seeing right here was actually at first, there was actually like an internal flare-up inside the chassis. I've honestly never seen something like that. It must be either because this car is so low mile and stored so well that it's internal oils, really not in a spot where seam sealer was, but it could have been fresh seam sealer. But yeah, you see a little internal flare up here, some smoke, blow it out with some air, and we're ready to go. And let me tell you, it was smoky. I have never encountered smoke like that. So right here you could see that I'm using the air gun and blowing inside of the chassis to get rid of some of that smoke and that potential flare-up that's going on, especially around the fuel area. This chassis is not too bad. It actually has a really good gap between the chassis and the fuel tank. But for example, like BMW's E36, E46, they are incredibly close. We've had issues with just the heat, no flare-up, just the heat, causing deformation or issues on a fuel tank. So we try to be very cautious of that and not let that happen.